Everyone, welcome back to another exciting. You just dumped your entire card on the table.
Interesting.
What's going on, everyone? Bancroft here. Today, being joined by Jimmy and Jake.
What's going on, y'all?
Prove it.
I was not expecting the fumble at the very beginning of the game. That's pretty funny.
We can't all be winners.
Today's matchup is Red Syn Shenron versus Blue Son Gohan. These are kind of like these guys' favorite decks. We've seen Jimmy play it for the last year and a half, and Jake's played it pretty much off and on for the last 5 months.
Now that you said that, you have to save this video until a year and a half from now and then upload it.
Nah, it's fine. Like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them there for a reason, and there's links in the description. But let's get to today's matchup. You guys, I know it's probably our last locals for the year, but you just not want to build?
I just don't have anything else to build. Like I'm waiting on a Whis and Videl promos because I want to rebuild both of those decks. I do have a Red Yellow Baby build that I've had like half built for like 2 months now, in preparation for the anniversary box baby card, and the anniversary boxes came and went, and I still haven't put the cards in the damn sleeve. But I've just been really enjoying Gohan. The deck is a blast to play, and it's one of the most rewarding decks to play. It's like every time you work your way through a turn, and it's like you squeeze all the value out of it. It just feels really good.
It's, after some repetition, it's kind of fun to play against too, because you kind of get like the flow of what they're doing, and you kind of like know when to expect the rush, but maybe not exactly how it's coming, and it makes for some interesting games. Nobody look at my energy, by the way.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
Well, so this is actually kind of a rematch because you guys did this once before, and we talked about in that match that you cited out your secret rare, because this is a match where you feel like it's not going to be needed. You just didn't want to cite it out this time?
In our last game, Jimmy was playing a more blue-yellow variant, and that version was not slow by any means, but a little bit slower than the mono blue, I felt like. So in this game, I thought maybe I could squeeze it in, but when the turn order played out the way it did, I quickly decided that it's not going to happen this game, and considering what else is in my hand, unfortunately, this is the best charge.
Mm-hmm. You got a good board already. And going first, this matchup really benefits you a lot.
It helps on the energy, but with Gohan, it getting to attack first can be a little bit goofy in the later turns. It's just weird.
Mm-hmm. I did have a pretty decent opening turn. Being able to put the Vegeta the Fortifier out, this card has like been really good and also just really bad. Because when you get it late game, it's not all that great. When you get it early, like I did, it's fantastic. And then if you compare it with a Goku Black, if your opponent attacks you enough, you can get enough Z energy to Goku Black on top of already having the 15k swing. And since you like dumping cards, you don't really mind discarding the one. So like, being able to get that on turn one, and then also having the Goku Black and enough cards to put in the Z energy to board him, like the Fortifier, like really put in some work in that particular turn.
I will say, like, kind of predicting that in a sense, like knowing that Syn could get pretty wide very quickly, and just having that setup ready to go is pretty solid.
Yeah. And excuse my going back and forth on the combo. I kept thinking, oh, I'm going to do this. And then when I went to do it, I was like, wait, I can't do that because I don't have 3 energy. I'm so used to having 3 energy in this deck that I just lost my damn mind. And
This took a little bit of doing, but I feel like once you got the order optimized, it benefited you.
mm-hmm. And that's what I was saying. Like once you like work it out and like really maximize your value from turn to turn, the deck just is just so rewarding. Like it just feels so good to play out a turn and then pass, and it's just like I don't know how to describe the feeling of playing this deck. It's I know there's other decks like it that have the same rewarding factor of it, but it's one of those, if you are a fan of this game, I feel like you should just build Gohan and play it, because I feel like I was already a pretty decent player, but after playing Gohan, I'm becoming a better player because of this deck. And I think that might be working with the idea of a limited resource, that being, a low hand count and a low energy count. You really have to value what you have, even though the deck operates at that and it feels good at that. It's kind of like, it's almost like training wheels for playing with a low card hand in a different deck, or playing with little energy in another deck. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like if anybody ever watched, well, we'll just use a Dragon Ball reference, Piccolo's weighted close. It's like playing with some sort of limiting factor and it overall increasing your skill level.
Like I've noticed that I've taken nuances that I have used in this deck, applying it to the other decks that I play. Like we had Matt's Christmas party recently, and I played a game with Cell there, and also played a game with Red Sin, and like I was applying stuff that I do in Gohan into the Red Sin matchup and the Cell matchup, where their decks are vastly different, but it all worked out, and had a better result in the end.
It's interesting how decks can have a lot of crossover like that, because I feel like playing the Gotenks deck has helped me manage my Z energy. Deck doesn't like keep a lot of Z energy. The Z energy it does want to have, it really needs. So I feel like that deck has really improved my skill level there. And then playing Bardock helps you manage like wide boards, which Syn can really get to as well. And Bardock's also good at teaching you about removing your opponent's battle cards and how valuable that can be. And you can see that's kind of the strategy I'm going for here.
I will say real quick, holding back on that last swing, Jimmy was very smart. That way he can't Z Awaken. And
I was very aware of the Z Awaken at this point. He has a fat hand, so I know I couldn't like get him down into like a double strike range for the next turn, but I didn't want to let him go down to 3, because I just did not want to deal with the Z leader, especially that early. A 20k double striker that can free play this big boy is something I just did not want to deal with while I'm still stuck at 2 energy. Which this Syn is just always a problem when it comes down. The card is so insanely good.
Yeah, really, all of the battle cards in solid all around, and I feel like this one, you could have taken a line or two of text off of it and it would still be played and still be just as strong.
Mm-hmm. Certainly.
So here I'm. This isn't usually like something I do, but Nick has taught me a lot about using this to either force cards out of the opponent's hand or really push in a good chunk of damage. The problem here is that Blue Gohan really wants to combo its hand out.
Mm-hmm.
An amount of cards doing that.
And this haze is not part of the combo. That is a
effect that's happening.
That is the crit. It should go to the drop area, but it's better just to leave it on field just so it's known.
And proccing that against, I can't remember if the Rose has a limit on the energy cost it can take, or just any card.
The Rose is 4 or less.
4 or less, okay. So it was safe in that regardless, though.
Yeah, so I can't touch the 8-drop. The only card that I can really touch the 8-drop with on my opponent's turn is the Big Gohan, the Gohan rare, which requires me to be at 4 or less life and also have 3 energy up. But I figured that if I can keep Roses in hand and I can bottom deck cards with my Gohan rare from the Z-Charge effect, that I can focus my combo power and then the limited negates I have at the big 8-drop, and just use my removal to deal with the smaller guys.
And I think we
seems to be working out so far.
I think we talked about this outside of camera, but protecting the people in a matchup against Gohan seems pretty smart.
Oh yeah, it is. It is really, really strong against Gohan.
I think really it's the cumulative 5K. Like, Bean can be punishing, sure, and then here comes the big secret rare, of course. But the cumulative 5K on Protector can really help you worm your way out of some situations.
Mm-hmm. And with pretty much all of my offense being dual attack, or all of my cards that I like to have on board at this time is dual attack, it really, really limits my swings. Because while I do want to dump my hand, with the limited cards, I can only draw up to 3. It's not like I'm able to exponentially combo on every attack. So really, Protector of the People, a well-timed Protector of the People is just as good as a Topo Floodgate, or just almost a Baby Hatch in some sense, because I just buy attack when I can't do damage.
Especially early game, I'd say it can be a Baby Hatch in certain situations.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So if I remember correctly, your hand was fairly low at this point, or it might be later on in the game. I don't remember exactly.
No, pretty much after that combo, I was working with extensively limited resources for the rest of the game.
I did consider restanding the Gohan to swing crit at you. Maybe get some more cards out of hand, or maybe put you at 1 life and really put the pressure on you for the next turn. Hoping that you may overextend in this turn trying to kill because of the fear of dying with 1 life. But I decided to restand the 2 energy. If there was a case that I did draw into a Gohan rare, it's just, easy out to any battle card swing, as long as it's not been given barrier. Which is very easy in your deck, but
I have to have hand presence for it. I have to spin cards from hand, which might not be the best for me right here.
That is true.
I remember thinking long and hard about how to conduct this turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things where you gotta tiptoe it carefully, and if you make one mistake, it's gonna cost you the game for sure. Where he has a field to, like he mentioned earlier, to crack back. He has the open energy, and that card does not help.
Nope.
Yeah, this android is fantastic. It is so insanely good. It's a mini floodgate, but played in times like right now when you have, like you said, limited resources. It's something you have to respect, and it's not a reoccurring 5K like Protector of the People is. but it does force a card out of hand every attack, opposed to something like a bean where if you attack with a card that is already swinging over the bean card, you're not going to have to combo. But being able to just say every card swing is just gone is fantastic.
Yeah, so that was a pretty big wrench in the operation. I was capable of dealing 5 damage this turn, I felt, but now everything is in question because I'll be spending an extra card out of my hand on each swing. It might have been best to just pass here, looking back. Looks like I'm just trying to get as many resources as I can.
And seeing this Oceanus come down, because I believe I have a Zamasu super combo in hand, and being able to give one of the Syn's barrier it would be troublesome on my end. And if I remember correctly, you keep her for combo power, which is not a bad idea because at this time I only have 2 cards in hand, so the likelihood of me having another super combo is fairly low, and sometimes you just have to take that gamble.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with you being able to draw a good amount of cards each turn, that likelihood of you hitting a super combo goes up and up.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where you're going to get a lot more value out of using her as a combo instead of a barrier target. If I don't have a Zamasu super combo in hand. Because that's more cards out of my hand, and then you still have the additional swing coming up after.
I think Jake just went to the shout room. I'm not sure on that or not.
No, I'm not sure either.
My internet's not been great the past few days.
Is what it is. I love this raid Shenron. Like,
the negate blocker, very good.
That one dude that he used to be on the channel. His name was Fluffy or something. He always shit on me for playing that card, but I like that card. I think it's a pretty good card.
He played it at 2 or 3 up.
I mean, he did shit on me.
I got a quick question. I might have missed it. You did remove the Dragon Balls for the free play drop, right? Or they still use? Or did you pay for that?
He tapped energy for it, I believe.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
This Syn, I think I did play with the effect. There's a stack of removed from game cards off of the table, I think, and if I forgot to, then they should be. My deck doesn't run any sparking or anything, so it doesn't really matter.
One of the plays that I really like, I didn't win by the swing, but the 1-drop Double Striker Vegeta has the same text as all of the other Take a Life power cards. It keeps that for the turn. So on the secondary swing, I can take an additional life and buff it up to 25,000 after restanding with the Gohan, which is a fantastic pressure piece. And I think a lot of people don't really expect that, especially out of a 1-drop. And it can be surprising to restand that off of Gohan, swing again, get another card from life, and now you have a 25k Double Striker on field.
And with that being said, thank you for your opportunity. Keep on just buttons down below. Click them there for a reason. And Jake, lead us out.
Everybody, remember to read your cards, know your plays, let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to, and Fluff